Hi, Dr. Daniel Lopez here, and I am an osteopathic physician and I help people with all kinds of aches and pains. And today I want to review something that is called hyperbolic stretching. That is something that I came across about a year and a half ago, and to be honest, I was very skeptical when I came across it, but there was I think an ad on Facebook that I saw, and what it was promoting or what was suggesting was that I would be able to do the splits in 4 weeks. And to me, that just I have to admit, seemed incredibly ridiculous. And part of the problem for me was that I had been inflexible all my life. Even as a child, I hated trying to bend forward and touch my toes. I would rather go and run and do any kind of exercise, but trying to bend forward and touch my toes, that was something that I just despised, and it just was a very uncomfortable feeling in the backs of my legs and back and all that. And as I've grown up with that pain and tension, that has caused a lot of pain and stiffness in my low back. So I did have an interest in finding a solution for that, for getting more flexibility into my hips, low back, legs, and all that, to where I potentially could do the splits. But I was definitely very skeptical, and so when I came to the page, as I was reading more about it, I came to understand that there was the principal mechanism behind it was using reflexes, and that stood out to me because I do, in the line of work that I do, I use reflexes on a daily basis to help get people out of pain and things like. And even improve some flexibility. So I have seen reflexes and how powerful they are. So I was piqued by the hyperbolic stretching program. And when I went through it, I came to realize that it's incredibly affordable. It's only $27. So they have a female program and a male program, and I don't know that they're dramatically different, but it being a $27 program overall with a money back guarantee, I decided I'd try it. And to be honest, I was still somewhat skeptical, but I figured I'd give it a shot. So when I did, I have to say that it was actually fairly uncomfortable, and it was incredibly difficult for me to do, but it yielded pretty much immediate results, to the point where I felt my muscles in my legs, hamstrings and inner thigh muscles, and even into my low back, a lot of those muscles release where they had never done before. So that I immediately could sense that there was something from it. Now, I did do it, and I did it regularly, and I have yet to have ever gotten the kinds of results where I can do the splits. I haven't been able to do that. So I'm not going to tell you that you're absolutely going to be able to do the splits by doing this. But I did get a lot of relief into my low back. What I ended up finding is, and I admittedly, I did it religiously and did it well for a couple months, but then eventually I stopped doing it for a while before I picked it back up. But when I picked it back up, I felt like I had to do it differently. There were some modifications I made with some of the hip flexor stretching, and with the hip flexor stretching, so that and adding some other stretches, where then that really allowed me to make more progress. So I do think that there is a definite value to this. This is definitely different from traditional stretching, and I think is a lot more powerful. So if you want to check it out, there's a link below this video, both where you can just go, and then you can check it out for both the women's and the men's version. So I'll have separate links for either one, and you can feel free to check it out yourself and see what kind of results you get. But like I said, even without being able to do the splits, 4 weeks later, or even now, the amount of relief and change that I had was impressive enough for me that I would have gladly paid $27 for that. So anyway, feel free to check it out. This is powerful and there is something to it. So if you struggle with flexibility like I have, then this is something worth doing, because in the long run, it's going to help with I think a lot of low back issues and a lot of pain that people have. So check it out and let me know how it goes.